Interviews, music, spirituality, and hot topics. Hosted by Dini Mussolini and Yohanan Railconag. Call in to join the mix at 701-801-9813 or join via the browser by visiting www.onlyonemediagroup.com and slapping that Go Live button. All episodes of this podcast are available for free download at iTunes. Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup at least 1 hour after the broadcast. We welcome all to submit material, topics, and ideas. Email us at vradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. Enjoy the show.
Oh yeah, one time for my people that are starseeds, crystalline, and indigos, and 2 times for my people that are vegans. And please pray for the vegans, man. It is a struggle for us, man, during this time of the year. We had Turkey Day in November, which I did not participate in for the first time ever. And now we have Xmas coming up, and unfortunately, I will have to participate in that because of the kids, but there will be globs and globs of meat around, and, you know, I've been, like, a vegan for 8 months now, so, yeah, pray for the kid. Anyway, folks, we are up to over 17,000 plus listeners and over 865,000 downloads worldwide just this year alone, and we've been at it for 3 solid years. I appreciate all you guys who have been rocking for me on this journey. And we are still growing, baby. It is all because of you guys, most definitely. Now, I know you heard a brand new intro in the beginning, and I heard a little static in the music, so don't worry about that. I will cut it and do a little small edit, and then, you know, give you the fresh, crisp version, of course, so that, you know, we'll be as professional as possible. Okay. Let me go on with my monologue here. We are the people who have dedicated their lives to music, art, spirituality, and research in every aspect, and we want to allow you guys that opportunity to tell your story. Man, I've had celebrities on the show, from Grammy Award-winning artists to nominees to actors, comedians, technology geniuses, from authors to professors and aliens. Our guys are people who think they're aliens. It doesn't matter who you are or what walk of life that you come from. Come on my show and talk to me, so check it out. To book an interview or just to share a real cool story, email me at theradio@onlyonemediagroup.com. I am passionate about what I do, just as passionate about what you do, and together, yes, together, we can get your voice heard by the people that should hear it. So let's create something incredible. And with that, hello and welcome to the first episode of Skeptix. And we'll go through the introductions real quick because I got a treat for you, okay? I just want to thank you guys again for tuning in and being a part of our audience family. If you like information on how to call in, ask questions, or speak to the guests, you can dial this number here, 601, nope, that's my phone number, my bad, 701-801-9813, or hop in the mix directly from my website, which is onlyonemediagroup.com. You can dial in directly from the Vigilantes Radio tab, and there is a button that says go live. So make sure you tap that button at least 1 hour after the show ends, or you can grab it from our Spreaker.com/onlyonemediagroup server, or iTunes, or over at the website, which again is onlyonemediagroup.com. And that goes for every single show that we've ever aired. Tonight's episode, of course, we will be featuring a friend of mine's. Her name is Marjae Angel, and she'll be live with us in just a second here. But I am the host, Dini Mussolini, and I have my partner on the line. Yo, yo. Okay, let's see. Yo, yo, are you out there? My co-host, are you out there? There we go. All right. Now, I assume that all you guys, only thing you heard was music, correct? Yeah. Don't worry about it. In the live version, the people that were in the chat room, you probably heard it. But the people who called in, you didn't hear what I just said, which is cool, though, because after the show, you can check out the screen, and you'll be able to hear everything I did say beforehand. But again, I am your host, Dini Mussolini, and I have on the line with me my partner who's going to help me host this very first episode of Skeptix. What's up, man?
What's going on, bro?
Hey, man, you got it, man. Tell everybody your name.
Yeah, man, this is Johanna Royale Hanak.
Yes, sir. All right. Always start the show off with a little Coach Dini tip, and but since we're not really talking about music tonight, I just want to give a word of encouragement. And so tonight's Coach Dini tip is about discomfort. Now, discomfort is by definition maybe not so pleasant. It is, however, powerful. A person who never experiences discomfort will not know the full extent of life's richness. And that's not an arbitrary judgment, but a fact proven over thousands of years. Discomfort teaching what nothing else can. Discomfort pushes you to grow in a way that cannot be replicated. Okay? And you know what comfort is. Comfort is so enjoyable. It's peachy and creamy. Makes you soft and weak sometimes, and put you out of touch. However, in contrast, discomfort hardens, energizes, and fills you with determination to make all things comfortable, right? Muscles that have never experienced discomfort are feeble. Going through discomfort can create resilience, robustness, firmness, and strength. So go ahead, my friends out there. Take on a challenge that makes you uncomfortable. Speak about something that makes you uncomfortable, because once you get through it all, it'll make you a whole lot better. Guarantee it. All right, so look, that is the Coach Dini tip for tonight. Do you have anything, my friend, that you want to add?
It's funny that you mentioned discomfort, man, because one of the biggest things I think I've seen this year in 2016, being such a turbulent year in itself already, but this election season, I think that pushed a lot of people to some of, the areas that's the darkest in their minds that they, normally under certain circumstances they wouldn't, just be privy to disclose that type of information. I think we saw a lot of that here in the election season. So it's just funny that you mentioned discomfort, because I think that's a great way to set the tone as far as, us coming into the close of this year with a lot of things people just had to come to grips with.
Yeah, man, and I don't think a lot of people are still, in terms of what just happened, really. They're still in La La Land, if you ask me. But it's here, so, you got to make the best of it. All right.
Yeah.
So just a brief introduction of who our guest is tonight. Her name is Marjae Angel, residents of California. I met her actually last month on the 18th or 19th. One of those cool days, nice weather. And I met this beautiful soul. Now, I've known Marjae for a while, and probably something she didn't know and that you guys didn't know, but she kind of taught me how to meditate. So we would have these meditation sessions where the next day we would talk about what kind of things we honed our senses on, and it would be on the same topic or same wavelength. And I thought that was so cool. And I always thought very, very high of her, and I still do and will always think high of her. And here she is, Marjae Angel. How are you?
Hi, Demetrius. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Well, you kind of threw me off there. I was really excited to be a part of this show, especially considering what you were just speaking of, discomfort. But
yes.
Just hearing what you were saying, I didn't know that I taught you how to meditate, and you kind of got me teary-eyed over here. So you kind of threw me off. Congratulations. Yes. But thank you so much for having me on your show tonight.
Oh, most definitely, man. Most definitely. So, this is kind of new. It's unscripted, so we're just going to go with the flow. And I do want to say to you, I want to start off by asking you the number one question, and that is, what do you believe in?
Okay, well, that is the number one question, and I definitely believe in God. Right now, I'm not sure who God is exactly, but I do believe in a higher conscious being that is aware of everything, that has, I guess I would describe it as emotions, love, anger, dissatisfaction, all of those things. So the thing is, I'm not exactly sure if it's a father, if it's a he, or if it's a she, or if it's both. I think it would be both. I'm not. I definitely know it's not a bearded being that looks like King Triton. It's often in my mind, I automatically do think of that image when I think of God because it's just been ingrained in my mind since I was smaller, but I know that that's not the truth. Now, you spoke about our times of meditation. There was a time where I was in a very spiritual state of mind, constantly meditating, constantly researching meditation, and I would experience out-of-body experiences. For those of you who have ever experienced it or are familiar with it, it's something that we all experience, but we're not all aware of it. And during my times of training myself to have out-of-body experiences at will, I did begin to have frequent out-of-body experiences, and one of them that stood out to me the most was actually an image of the sun. And it seemed like I was actually in outer space, very close to the sun, but not hot. And I guess it's because I was in spirit form. But all I remember was that sun being so gigantic. And there was some sort of a personality to it. And it wasn't in English. It was more telepathic that this entity or whatever it was telling me that the God that I've always been taught of is a cartoon. And that this is what God is. This is what God is. And it was just a large image of the sun, and it was just so comforting and just huge. And I remember thinking, I will never be able to explain this when I go back into the physical realm. I will never be able to explain this. So one thing that I do know is that our planets, they do direct us closer to what God really is. And I think it's more than what we've been taught in the contemporary Christian society. So that's my answer, I guess, as far as what God is. I know it's not the bearded man, but it's definitely something. Definitely.
Okay. Going back to the outer body experiences. Do you think you said you think that most of us may experience that? Do you think that happens in just the dream state?
Well, it does happen in the dream state because a lot of times you think you're dreaming and it was actually an out-of-body experience. So I would say yes, but just because you're dreaming doesn't necessarily mean you're having an out-of-body experience. So it's kind of tricky. Most of the time, if you are experiencing an out-of-body experience, you will feel paralyzed. Sometimes you'll hear sounds of like electricity, or some people say that they felt like someone is sitting on their chest. But those are just, what's going on there is your body is still in paralysis. Your body is asleep, but your mind is awake. That's why you feel paralyzed. So yes, it can be in a dream state, but just because you're dreaming doesn't mean you're having an out-of-body experience. You could be lucid dreaming where you know you're in a dream and you start to create the dream and you can guide yourself out of body through that. But dreaming doesn't necessarily mean out of body, no. I guess your mind can be somewhere else. Your mind can be somewhere else because in the dream state we are tapping in to different spiritual realms. But the actual out-of-body experience is so distinct in my personal experience. It's distinct between a dream.
So you've done it often?
Yes, I have.
Okay. I've always been a little terrified of it. Because of the stories of that, something else can come in.
Yes.
And I'm a little stingy on that. I don't, like sharing my body space.
I know. Well, that is why I don't do it very often anymore, because that's something I'm still wrestling with. I have heard different people with their different opinions and thoughts on it. And some, I wouldn't say masters, but people who are very experienced in this sort of thing. Some of them say that the evil spirits cannot enter your body unless you're under some sort of influence, like hard drugs, or you're in a bad state of mind, you're in a dark place. If you are a dark energy, then yes, dark energies can enter into your body. But if you're in a positive, vibrant, light state of mind and you're natural and pure, then they can't enter. But I don't really know about that. So that's what hinders me from going out of body now. But yeah, I do. My very last out of body experience that I purposely did was probably the most terrifying because I had started getting so good at it. It was just amazing, and I had heard some sort of a voice, but it wasn't speaking in English. If I could describe what it sounded like, it was kind of like a gong, like a vroom. It kind of sounded like that. But I understood it telling me that I was walking on thin ice. Like, okay, you've mastered this craft. You're in a whole other world now. You're messing with something way different. It didn't tell me not to do it, but it was telling me to be careful. Right. And it was just very serious. And so I decided to go right back into body after that, because you can control. If you're terrified, you just say, I want to go back in my body, and you're right back in. So I did that, and ever since that last encounter, I've been kind of afraid.
I would imagine.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm a little shaky hearing about it,
Yeah, but the thing is, I was terrified initially, but you remember what I was going through back then, right?
Yes.
You do remember.
Yes.
So I think when I am in an emotional, desperate state of mind, I'm down to tamper with the spiritual because I feel like I have no control down here. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't make him call you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You can't break her neck. So it's so frustrating to me, and I'm like, no. There's got to be a way to control my destiny, and that, I guess, that desperation, that emotional turmoil, kind of pushes me into to tap into my spirituality. And I think that's why I go through it so often. I think I am supposed to be there. You know, there's just so much more to me than what's here on this earth. And even just recently, a lot's been going on in my personal life, and there was a time where I would talk about it, but it's just so much that I won't anymore. I just feel that the type of person I am, I'm very sensitive. I'm not perfect. You know, I am a sinner, but I'm just very sensitive to blatant. I don't want to call it sin because I don't want to, you know, put myself in a box here. But I'm very sensitive to people who are unremorseful for the things that they do or have done. And it's so agitating to me that I don't know how to handle it. You know, I don't know how to handle it physically, in the physical realm. You know, I'm the type of person that goes off. I have a quick temper, but only to certain things. I've never gone off on you out of all the years we've known each other because you're a moral man. So it's very hard if I'm around some kind of immorality or unremorseful sin, or I don't know what to call it. I can't take it. And it seems to get me into a lot of trouble. But I realize when I go through that trouble, I'm back into my spiritual place. I'm back into the spirits. I'm back into the crystal. I'm back into the meditation. I'm back into the prayer. And I feel very empowered. Like, I think it's where I belong. I think God is trying to teach me a lesson. That this is look at what you can do. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've seen. Look at what I've shown you. People don't believe this. People think you're crazy. But you have witnessed, you have shared your experiences with people who have witnessed these miracles. And I think when I stray away from it, God somehow throws turmoil into my life to put me back into the spiritual place. So, you know, that discomfort you were talking about, amazing. I mean, it's synchronization. And that's not new between you and I.
Right.
And Lori Beale, a very special friend, same thing. She's in that synchronization zone. So it's okay. This discomfort's amazing. I would recommend it. You know, I know people are out there looking at me like, oh, my God. But you know what? I feel so free. I have nothing to hide. You know, I am still the same person that I am, but I think my mind has elevated through chaos. And I'm fine with it because we're not here forever. I don't care. I really don't care. There was a time that I did, but I guess I don't. You know, I just want to be right. I want to repent of my sin. I want to be right with the God, the Creator, whoever He is. And I just want to feel right in my soul. I guess there are so many different opinions and answers out there that I can only go with my own conscience. So, yes, definitely discomfort has brought me to a great place, I would say.
Yeah. And you mentioned miracles.
Yes.
What kind of miracles are we talking about?
Well, do you remember when I was into my meditative state and I was having the dreams and the out-of-body experiences, and I told you about a certain contract that I saw being signed?
Mm-hmm.
And it was something that was very confidential. It was confidential, but when I had told you about the vision, you had told me about what had taken place. So I would say that was it was a miracle because I was able to see into the past. You know, I was able to tap into the Akashic records somehow. That's just one of them. Another one that I've had friends witness in my church days, I would have lots of dreams that would come true, and I would keep a journal. And so people would see my dreams come true. I would tell them about it, and they would see it happen later. So, you know, also with the out-of-body experiences, I've had. I don't want to say because I don't want to scare anybody.
Oh no, go ahead.
You know, I've made telepathic contact with humans that have done what I wanted as far as the out-of-body experience. But I guess in some way that other person was in agreement. You know, they were in agreement with it. But I've seen it happen. only I know, I guess, certain things only I know. I do thank God for the girls who were in my life during my dreams that were coming true. So these things are proof to me that there's something greater out there. I mean, how could it be that I dream of someone having a heart attack and I find out the next day that they had a heart attack?
Yeah.
Or,
but isn't that kind of heavy? Like, what do you do with those kind of gifts? Do you, sit on them, or do you exercise your knowledge?
I should be exercising my knowledge, and I should be living, very spiritually. And I feel like I haven't been. I feel like I still am kind of stuck in this world somehow, and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm not supposed to be sitting on it. No. This is something I believe I'm here to heal, to teach, and I think complacence is not, no. I'm supposed to be teaching and helping and healing with these gifts, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Are you doing that?
I think I'm going to, I am. I have something going on that I haven't talked about at all. People think I put all my business out there, but I really don't. But I have stuff going on that is so magical. It's so magical. And it's something that's just been going on recently, and I've been working with it, and I can just feel the difference. And it is very spiritual. And yes, I would say now I know what I'm supposed to be doing. I've been meditating on that, praying on that. When I was recently pregnant, I was like, what am I supposed to be doing with my life? I mean, I know I'm a singer, but there are a lot of people sing. I could do it, but is that what I'm supposed to be doing? And the little voice told me, if you're using your music to heal, yes. And it's like, okay, I'm a healer. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. And as long as I'm not doing that, I'm in chaos. I'm a spiritual healer. I just have to get to it. And so with the stuff that I'm doing right now that I haven't really talked about, I guess I could talk about it now. I'm making jewelry. And it's
awesome.
mystical jewelry. I'm using all crystals from Madagascar, India, and I know the power of crystals because in my previous meditation days, I would use crystals to assist me, and I still have them here. So, I love jewelry so much, I can spend all my money on it. But I figured, you know what, I can make my own because I'm so creative. So I got these stones and crystals from other parts of the world, and as I'm putting jewelry together, I'm having crazy dreams when I'm done, when I go to sleep, and it's the crystals. They're telling me that my energies are off, that I'm very imbalanced, which is true because of all the turmoil that's been taking place in my life. And the crystals are telling me they're going to heal. They're going to heal me. And I can feel my heart beating fast and slow, and I can feel things going on in my body. I could feel the feeling of the stones, the opals, and I'm putting jewelry together specifically for different people. So, like, what I would have for you would be completely unique from someone else's. So I do believe that I am doing what I'm supposed to do by healing people through jewelry and crystals and music.
Okay. And it's funny how you brought up crystals. I'm going to share something else with you that you didn't know.
Okay.
So I have an extensive crystal collection that nobody knows that I'm into crystals as well. And it all started because I've seen your Facebook post like years ago with your daughter in meditation with crystals.
Oh, yes.
So I was supposed to bring you a gift, and I didn't because I didn't want to part ways with it.
Oh, that's
it meant so much. And I paid the price for it. I missed my flight and had to stay a few days over in LA because I didn't obey by giving you this gift. It was a crystal. And you probably have this one. But because it meant so much to me, I was supposed to part ways with it. They don't have owners.
Right.
They assign themselves to a person, okay?
Yes.
So I had a sphere, lapis lazuli, if I pronounced it right.
Oh, my God, that's the stone I just ordered. Oh, my God. I think it's
really
in today.
See?
a bunch of them, yeah.
I should have gave it to you.
It's so funny. funny. I'm going to make lapis lazuli necklaces.
It was it's a 50 millimeter ball or a sphere of that gem.
Oh.
Very gorgeous, very gorgeous.
I know that rock is so gorgeous.
And I did not want to part ways with it.
You know what? I hear you, and you know what? It's because it's supposed to be in your life. Like, I know about crystals, and it doesn't hurt me, but thank you so much for thinking of me. And, no, that crystal is supposed to be with you right now. That crystal is one of royalty, spirituality, healing, and so many more. It's amazing, that crystal. But, yes, I did order, and I think it just came in. I'm going to make gorgeous, maybe 1 or 2 necklaces with them. Lapis lazuli and gold. So that is another synchronization. How awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank even the spot. No, hold on to it. Hold on to it as long as you like, but when you're done with it, give it to me.
It definitely sits here on my desk when I do my podcast. So.
Oh,
definitely helps.
Well, send me a picture of it at least.
All right, sure will.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, how big is it?
50 millimeters.
Okay, 50. Okay, nice.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Oh, well, I understand why you wouldn't. So what do you feel like that stone, what kind of effect do you feel like it has in your environment?
I just use it when I'm in my creative mode. Like I said, I use it for the podcast.
Yes.
Before each show, I have a little ritual I do, and that's I have my gem here, and I have my green tea, and at least 15 minutes before each podcast, I'm in meditation mode where I'm just, making sure that, because I'm from the South, and I'm real country when I think about it, but
Yes.
sometimes I don't want to come across as, some random, and I like to call myself a random black guy from the South.
Right. Okay.
So, I don't know, it just helps me think on my toes when I'm an introvert and antisocial, and I hate talking, and I hate, I hate crowds, and but I'm in journalism, right? So that's what it does for me. Increases. That's what it does. Increases the vibrations.
Yes, I was thinking of making myself like a secret crown.
Go ahead.
Because it's because of the crown chakra.
Yes.
And the queens and kings, they have diamonds on their crowns, and we think it's just for glory. But no, it's because they know the truth about spirituality, and I'm not talking Christianity. They feed us Christianity, but they really know where the Egyptians, and other ancient African religions, they have the real information as far as what God really is and what spirituality really is, and they know that these diamonds on their crown connects them into the higher dimension. That's why kings and queens wear crowns. It's not just for looks. And so I was thinking of making myself a little lapis lazuli crown to wear on my third chakra. And what was I going to say about these ancient Egyptians? Now, Christianity, I do read the Bible because I believe that there are nuggets and pieces of real, true scripture in there. I don't think it's just a bunch of baloney. I don't think it's just a bunch of garbage. But I think you have to read the Bible like codes, like a book of codes. You can't just follow it directly. You'll drive yourself crazy. It's too contradicting.
Yeah.
It's like don't kill, but murder the cow. But the Old Testament, but the New Testament, but God never changes, but He changed His mind. It's like, no, there is something definitely fishy going on here. But the Bible in itself says to seek the truth as for searching for silver or gold. And you're not going to find silver or gold at the local church. You have to search, and you have to do your research. And like I said, I do believe in Yahweh, and His name is probably something else because certain Hebrew words don't have these letters or sounds. But whatever the oldest God is, the ancient God, I do believe. I could tell by reading the Bible that this is something greater than us. It's not just man-made. It's deeper than that. There is some truth to it. But you have to search for the truth as for searching for silver and gold. Yes. And, people kind of criticize me for my crystals and my dreams, and they look at me as this New Age witch. And I'm like, read your Bible. You know, Joseph, he analyzed dreams. You know, all the great men of the Bible had dreams. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
These crystals, heaven is made of that. You know, there's amethyst on the chest plates of God's soldiers. There's a reason for that. So, you know, you got to search for these things. That's for treasure. That's for hidden treasure.
Definitely.
Yes.
So going back to what you said about Egypt, in my research, I've been learning all sorts of things. Like for the past few years, I've just been like one big, huge sponge and, you know, soaking up all kind of religion. I've studied the Quran, the Bible, and I've never really, you know, dived deep into Kemet or anything like that. But it's interesting to me on certain levels. And then you get below that surface, and then there's like aliens.
Oh yeah.
As the true, you know, how can I say, bridge or information for the Egyptians. Like, what's your thought on that? And my partner that's co-host with me, he's probably more.
Yeah, I was just
he's ready to take over.
I had to say something, man. I had to say something because it's like whenever we want to give credit to the ancient Africans, it's always something else. These black people couldn't have done this. This is impossible. It had to be aliens.
No.
So it's like.
I see what you're saying.
you know, so.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so.
Yep.
It's funny that the young lady opened the conversation with she believes that God is a higher consciousness, and in the world of science, when you speak of consciousness, we speak in more of a frequency that can be measured. You see what I'm saying? Or let's say a brain wave that can be accurately measured to tell you what level a person is vibrating.
Right.
So when we think about all these things, and we think about, like you said, the ancient Africans, all of this information came from deep within Africa before any of these things that, you know, modern science is just now catching up with. Ancient Africa had, you know, hundreds of universities where they were teaching things that's far beyond anything that they teaching nowadays in modern universities. So I just want, you know, all the listeners, you know, people that's just now, you know, coming into their own spirit to where things are just not adding up and they feel like it's higher answers out there. The main thing you need to understand is this feeling that you have is yourself responding to a vibration within this universe. And not everybody's going to respond to that vibration because you got people that's just, you know, operating at a lower frequency that's not going to be able to reach out. They below the radar, so they're not going to get that message. So that's what we need to understand first and foremost about these energies.
Yes, definitely. And then what you were saying about the aliens and them taking the credit for the African intelligence, that's funny. I've never looked at it that way because I do believe in aliens. I mean, I've never seen one awake, but you know, I believe that they are definitely out there. I don't think, you know, whoever's trying to take that credit away from the black people, they're doing a bad job because I think what it is was they had the technology to communicate with them. Like there was a reason why these aliens were, because they do have higher intelligence than us. But there is a reason why they felt that they can interact with these people. You know, these people were able to take instruction and build these things. So I don't think it just, even if there were aliens, it shouldn't discredit our people at all. You know, we were the chosen ones.
Let me ask you this. Let's look at the word alien, or let's get more technical. Let's look at the word extraterrestrial. Extraterrestrial. Okay, this word means something beyond this terrestrial plane that we exist on that we call Earth.
Yes.
Okay, so if you look at the human being and the anatomy of the human being, everything, just like you just made this statement a second ago about amethyst. The whole universe, the fabric of the universe is, combined of certain elements, some that exist here and some that exist in other places. But the human being, the anatomy of the human being is made up of certain things that don't even exist here originally on Earth. So we are from beyond this, solar system. We just find ourselves, on this planet right now at this point in time, at this position in space. But, at the same time, we are beyond this whole spectrum of existence. And once we start to, give credit to something beyond the power of ourselves, then that's the first illusion right there. So everything else within your reality is based on that foundation of an illusion. You separate yourself from your true power. If I can, I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I don't know if I'm just getting a little too...
It makes sense. I just wanted to keep hearing what I didn't want to cut you off or anything.
Speak for yourself. I ain't no alien. No, I'm just playing.
Okay.
I'm just playing.
I don't know if you guys...
Well, think about it. Just think about it. What is our perception of an alien? Our perception of an alien due to like Hollywood is something... Yes. Yeah, it's something real creepy. Something real creepy-like, but at the same time, we admire it for its intelligence.
Right.
No, well, in the Bible and ancient texts, they talk about the seraphim and the Nephilim and the angels and and some people will say that aliens are angels. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the two extraterrestrials. One of them was named Enki, and I forget the other one's name. Now, I used to be a Christian that would teach the Bible and baptize people. I led a college campus, so I know a lot about the Bible. And I remember it saying that let us make man in our image. It says that in the book of Genesis. And when I was studying other things, I learned about these different ancient aliens or extraterrestrials or giants or angels who created humans here on Earth to mine for gold. And what they would do was they would take their own DNA. These extraterrestrials will take their own DNA and then also, I guess, intermix it with the DNA of an ape or some kind of a earthly being, but they would make us in their image, and we would be here to mine for gold because I guess gold has some kind of a property to it that I don't know what there's some kind of a special element that gold or property that gold has within it that these aliens want. So I do believe that we could be part alien. And then even us being blacks and Mongolians or Asians and whites and the different races, how human beings can look so different, I hear it's because we are blended with different species of alien. Like there are different looking aliens out there, and we have different species. The Asians would come from one species, the black would come from another. So I'm not opposed to thinking that, especially if I didn't know that we had stuff in our biology that is beyond this world. I really didn't know that. That's very interesting.
I didn't think of it that way either. So that was a very interesting point.
Well, you gotta look at it, man. Your blood is composed of iron. Iron is basically the fuel that is at the center of most planets. That's what the core is made of. And like she was saying, you infuse different properties together to get certain elements that didn't exist until a certain point in time, because the galaxy is millions upon trillions of years in the making. We the newest kids on the block, basically. The universe is ancient place, man, and we just a speck in the book of life. We just a speck. So I definitely agree with it being higher beings here that exist, but I really don't think that they would even waste their time with a race of humanity that's so primitive that's still on such a low vibratory state, like we just said about humanity or whatever. So I mean the whole ancient alien theory thing with me, it's just so many holes within that philosophy. I really just, I think I think that was, like modern Western civilization's way of saying we can't explain a lot of things, but we'll be damned if we give it credit to these ancient people of color. So we're just going to say it was something beyond our understanding.
Well, that could be. Have you ever seen the ancient hieroglyphs where they draw pictures of spaceships back then?
Yeah.
Like they like on the ancient hieroglyphs, they drew like, okay, the spaceship came to us, and like you could see the story that it's telling. It's like, holy. To me,
no, not even that. I'm just to me, in my mind, I'm thinking these ancient people. This was the best way they could relate something that they experienced. So it's just like the mind of a child. The imagination is going to run wild. So the child may not be able to fully express what it is that they experiencing, but in their mind, that's exactly what they saw. But in reality, they thought they saw a spaceship, but in reality, they just saw a dragonfly.
No, they saw a spaceship. I believe they saw a spaceship because if you look at Egypt or where all the pyramids around the world it's very much planetary aligned, and it's just so intense. And then also at the tips of the pyramid, they're supposed to be gold, and it's not there anymore. And there's some kind of conductors. I believe it. I mean, I see what you're saying, but I believe there's other stuff out there. I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, there's pictures of Egyptians and Aztec Mayans with communicator devices coming out of their ears.
Oh yeah, they're definitely communicating.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm saying. It's a larger science involved with this. I don't necessarily think that was a entity outside of ourselves that just tapped into this, this infinite source of energy that created everything, this, creation. But I really believe that maybe if there was a higher power, it was just ourselves there, and we just lost contact with ourselves. We are the extraterrestrial. That's really what I believe. We just, some type of way, we lost a connection with our higher self, which caused us to, create that separation from this higher power, and now we interpret this higher power as something other than ourselves.
Yeah, I think there's truth to that. But I think there's lots going on. I don't think it's just us humans here. I think there's lots of different, or humans from different on different planets. I heard that Martians were actually people from Mars who were very male. That it was a very male species, and I guess the people of Earth were actually very female, like 14-year-old female would be where they were at. And these males, they were such war all the time, such war with each other, that they destroyed their planet and had to come here to Earth, and they took over. And now I don't know if they were actually aliens or people, but there's just so much out there that I can't say that no aliens exist. It's just too much. There's just too much going on.
Okay, now don't get me wrong. Now I'm not saying aliens don't exist. I'm just saying our perception of what an extraterrestrial is merely based on science fiction and Hollywood. The propaganda of modern media. But at the same time, there is a lot of evidence, like you say, that suggests that human beings on this planet have had contact with other beings outside of this planet. But you can go back to any ancient tribe within touch of human history. I'm not talking about people that's still uncharted or whatnot, but most ancient tribes have legends and traditions of a story of human beings coming from the stars, our planet, not necessarily being our home planet or whatnot. We come from other beings that visited this planet, like you said. Like countless cultures tell this same story. So, I mean, I really agree with you to a certain extent, but I was just saying that I believe our perception of what an extraterrestrial is real far on the basis.
Yeah, but you know what? When you were saying that we lost touch with ourselves, like we were the aliens, we were the one. There's a lot that makes a lot of sense too with a lot of the research that I've done, because it turns out that our planet has been here for billions of years. You know, not a few thousand, but a long time. And I believe in reincarnation. You know, I've just from everything I've seen and watched and dreamt and seen, and you know, I do believe in it. So I believe our souls have been here for billions of years. And at one point we were higher, and at one point we were lower, because there's nothing new under the sun. So maybe, maybe millions of years ago we built the pyramids, you know, and they're still there, you know. So that's a possibility.
Hey guys, I have a caller that wants to chime in. Actually, two callers that want to chime in with questions and add to the conversation, if you guys don't mind.
Awesome. No, please.
All right, let's see here. Oh, one is muted indefinitely. Hold on.
Aww.
Half Daisy, what's up?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Hello.
Nothing much. How you guys doing?
Good.
What's going on?
Nothing much, man. I was just listening, and it's funny that y'all talked about it. I just had to chime in a little bit on this because, and this is where I saw it too. Look up. It's an old show that used to come on. It still comes on right now. It's called Ancient Aliens.
Okay.
And it's on the History Channel. Mm-hmm. All right, check this, because everything that you guys are talking about, it talks about it in these episodes. Now, even crazier thing, right, that they were mentioning is that, like, our universe, right, being like the heavens beyond, right, and that humans, us here on Earth, like, our whole goal is to try to go beyond space, right? Mm-hmm. So, like, you know, we go to the moon, we're going to go to Mars, and so on and so forth. But supposedly, we're not supposed to be able to. That they purposely put us here like this on purpose, right?
Yes, definitely.
So I just thought that was interesting, and it does come back to, just like they were saying, the angels, right? Mm-hmm. It talks about it in those episodes where people are talking about angels that maybe they could have been extraterrestrials. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it would make sense that our DNA would have traces of maybe their DNA. We don't know this for sure, right? But because they talked about these angels mating with human women.
Human women, yes.
And remember it talking about that being like a problem. You know what I'm saying? So, so it all makes sense to a certain degree.
Yes, it does, because we would have their DNA if they were, the giants are supposedly the sons of the angels.
Right. And then they talk about even like different eye colors. They can't really explain why certain people have like blue eyes and green eyes, but supposedly that's supposed to be linked to extraterrestrial DNA. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt, but at the same time, the research is there, because how did those people way back then, how were they able to pick out certain, like, constellations and stuff like that?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Those are advanced thinking, I guess.
I know you were saying that Galileo had invented the telescope, and old, ancient stones were found. And they were pictures of men on dragons with telescopes. You should look it up if you can find them.
Well, okay. Here's something that you don't hear about in the Western times. Cowboys used to talk about huge birds that they would just chase after and shoot, and bullets would bounce off their leathery skin.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And this is during the Western times. You know, they were talking about stuff like that, but you don't hear anything about it, and they're legit stories. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, ancient aliens. You got to look it up. because obviously, you know, they have all the sources inside of it, so you could research it on yourself. So it's not just like a conspiracy. You know what I mean?
Yes, definitely.
So,
yeah, Ancient Aliens.
But yeah, no, I just found it interesting. We're talking about that because it's starting to get to that point, man. Because if they prove that there's other life besides us here on this planet, and the galaxy is so vast, so huge, we haven't even touched it. You cannot say that we're the only intelligent beings here.
No
You know
way.
what I'm saying? And if they prove that, the scientific community or people in the scientific community are like, well, that disproves God. You know what I'm saying? That disproves the existence of God. But that's not necessarily true.
It doesn't disprove the existence of God. That's stupid.
No, it doesn't at all. No, I'm not saying that. That's what.
No, I know you're not saying it, but people.
You know what I'm saying? Like some
that,
people within that community, that's what they firmly believe, and it's.
That actually
I don't know,
proves
it's ridiculous.
more of God, because God, we put him in this box as this guy that made some people on earth and some animals, and that's it. But if there's so much more, then that does prove a great God. So it doesn't disprove God to find other life. It just disproves your whack ass religion, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It just proves that, hey, it wasn't just us that he created, you know, to be whatever. You know what I'm saying? And me and Houdini have had plenty of conversations on spirituality. So. Oh yeah, so have we. He's a real spiritual guy. Yeah, he is. Yeah, and he's definitely on another
don't tell nobody.
Level.
Another level, yes he is.
Comes to thinking.
Yes he is. I forget how young he is.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I forget how young he is. I'm like,
hey, unless I know you personally.
Oh, man.
What's that?
But yeah, no, I don't want to take any more time. I just wanted to chime in with that, man.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, I forget. It's a book a guy wrote. I forget this guy's name, but the name of the book is Chariots of the Gods. If anybody get a chance to, you know, like, I know you can get apps for ebooks and stuff these days. If you ever get a chance, just, you know, see if you can come across that book. I forget the guy's name. I think it's like Eastern European type of a name, like Ivan Van Certain something. I can't think. Chariots of the Gods. They go into a lot of this explanation, about what we're talking about human beings coming into contact with something that they, you know, couldn't explain, and basically extraterrestrial existence or whatnot. But all of this that we're talking about, it, you know, once you connect the dots, all of this stuff, you know, it makes a lot of sense once you connect the dots.
Yes,
but we basically dealing with electromagnetic energy, and once you deal with electromagnetic energy, human beings in the form that we're in, we can only access so much of the bandwidth of the electromagnetic spectrum, and we're only in what they call the visible light spectrum. That's the only thing we can experience, is that small little range of what they call physical matter. That's all we can experience, as, you know, far as the reality of the universe. But there's a whole 99.999% of the real reality that we can't even experience, because we can't access that level, like you were saying earlier, of consciousness. That's basically what it is. It's just the bandwidth of electromagnetic energy. That's all it is.
Yes, that's true.
Well, just like the fact that we can only access so much of our brain, too. We can only use so much of it. Like, we don't have access to our entire brain. So there's no telling what those parts of the mind can do.
Yeah, certain drugs can access different parts, like the DMT. Certain drugs will fry your brain, but like, you know, the DMT, I think even marijuana, I think it allows you to tap into certain parts of your brain. You know, I used to read tarot cards. I don't do it anymore. But I when I would smoke bud before I did it, it was so awesome. It's so amazing. You know, it was very accurate. I could never read for myself, but it would creep me out how it was so accurate for everyone else. I do believe that certain drugs do alter your brain. They do allow you to tap into.
What deck did you use?
What's that? Oh, it was the Marjae deck.
Oh, okay. I dabbled in it a little bit. I had Aleister Crowley's deck, but it is weird. That stuff is really
so weird, isn't it?
That's definitely, you got to approach with caution. I know people.
So weird,
it's like freaking. It's like the whole how people believe in like, voodoo stuff, man. Like you got to approach that shit with caution.
Well, my parents are from Haiti, so yes, definitely.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's why I'm,
you already know the deal. The whole freaking.
Oh yeah.
It's like she said earlier, though. She made a comment on that earlier. It's really just depend on the person's energy and the person's vibe, like the intentions of your heart, because it's just like, they say money is the root of all evil or whatnot, but the money has no true power. It's the person that wields the money, really. So
right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Very
that's
true.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah, no, I used to do it. It would creep me out. It was creepy. The deck was creepy, and then the thing is, you become friends with the deck. You start to know the characters. It is very strange.
Yeah, you're supposed to, essentially, you're supposed to orient the deck to you. So it is based off your energy, you know what I'm saying, and based on what you're putting out. And then, a lot of times it's like, it's crazy because those cards have so many different interpretations, and depending on what the person is asking, it just gets really deep. Like, you got to study it. It's a studying craft, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, it is a study. It's a lot of cards, and, meanings change. Yeah,
and it can be dangerous if you, I don't know, dude. And some people can call it superstition. They can call it whatever they want. But, if you, when you deal with stuff like that, you're messing with, it depends on what you believe. Like, are you really supposed to be messing with that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're messing with spirits. And some Haitian voodoo doctors, when they found out that I was doing it, they said that I did have the gift to do it, but they said that my problem was I wasn't charging people because I wouldn't. It would just be free, and
dude. But you know what? From what I've heard, is like it's the opposite. Like exactly what you said. Like nobody should pay you. If anything, it should be a gift because what you're giving them, they shouldn't have to pay you for what. It's theirs to begin with, and you're the one who, like you said, wields the gift.
But also talents in the Bible translate to talents, which was money.
Yeah, talents was money. Well, he was telling me, because I was like, I don't want to charge, I don't. He says, well, even if it's a penny that they give you, they have to give you something. And I don't know what kind of spirit mess. This guy would get beat up by his spirits, when he wouldn't, whatever. So I don't know how good those spirits
I'm not laughing. Like, that's bullshit. But that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He was a good guy. He would do things for free, and he would the spirits would kick his ass, But I wasn't. I never got my ass kicked by him. Not doing that, I guess. Maybe in other ways.
Well, for everyone, it's different. It may have messed with you because I heard you were talking about things that you would do. They would things would come back to you in different ways. You said the chaos because chaos is that I can definitely relate to that. You know what I'm saying? And when you dabble with things, especially when you tap into the spiritual world, somebody's gonna make you pay for something. You know what I'm saying? And it's whether it could be revenge on a close family member or a friend or something like that, or create a problem in your life, a situation or a challenge or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there was only one dark one that I've done. I've never done dark magic. There was just one that I did on a pedophile. It was a pedophile that I did it to, and it's still not my place to punish anyone. But and it wasn't a pedophile that did anything to me. It was just something that I found out about, and it wasn't my place to do it. And I did see kind of the repercussion of it, but I never did dark magic. I don't touch it now because I don't believe in manipulating people's lives at all, whether it's good or bad or whatever. It's just let God do it. Put out the positive energy and leave it alone. But I feel like the chaos comes in my life when I'm not doing my spiritual task.
Yeah, and freaking, I don't know. I believe in the universe and karma. Like me and my wife believe in karma big time because Yeah,
Same
definitely seen that. You know what I'm saying? Definitely seen that.
Well, you know, people, when most people hear the word karma, they just associate that with some type of negative connotation, when actuality, I mean, you got good karma and bad karma. So, you know,
of course,
it's just the natural rhythm of life. You're going to experience ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely.
It's going to happen to the best of us.
Yeah, it makes you a well-rounded individual. It gives you character. It builds a person's character. You know what I'm saying?
You know Deepak Chopra? He's great. He talks good stuff about. I love his explanations on karma and dharma. He's a great teacher. Hey, Demetrius, are you still there?
I am.
Oh, I was wondering, how much time do we have?
We have about 14 more minutes.
Okay, that's fine. I think Babe's getting mad. I'm supposed to cook dinner. Like, sorry, this is too much fun here.
Tell him I said, what's up?
I will. He's in the back right now, but yeah, we're gonna have chili tonight, so it'll be fun.
Sounds good.
Yeah, but
it's a winter season.
So as far as the karma, I do believe in it. It's both good and bad.
Yeah, both good and bad.
I want to force it.
Not just. Yeah. No. Just Not, and you're right. He made a very valid point. Most people do concentrate on the negative part of it, but there are also positive aspects. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, that's why people will be. You'll see people post and be like, "Yo, I'm blessed. This and this happened in my life. You know, that was good."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
You know, I've heard from people that used to steal and rob. They said that money always either the stuff that they bought with it either got stolen or broken. Like that there's karma in that money, and I do believe that. But I've heard it from several different people. Like, oh, if you steal something, it gets stolen or broken or something happens to it. And
well, and it like he says about the algorithms and the energy and stuff like that, dude. You know, you put that stuff out every day, just like The Secret talks about, but doesn't fully enlighten you on. You know what I'm saying? Every thought you put out, you stub your toe, you're like, damn. Then you have a shitty day. You know what I'm saying? Or you do something that's going to make your day worse, or you can have a good day. Because if you sit and concentrate on the things like, because most of us, we have a good day, we go throughout our day, we're like, oh, we don't think about it. Sit down and actually think about what made your day good. You know what I'm saying? And then when you have a terrible day, think about what made it terrible. Was it a mood that you were in? Try not to be in that mood. Was it, you know what I'm saying? So it can essentially all start with you. Now, there have been days, and I'm sure all of us have had this, where you wake up in a good mood, but it seems like everything else in the universe is against you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that has
people will be jerks on the road, or you'll go into the store, and it'll be a pattern for that day. Usually I just try to be an introvert, you know, and just.
Pagosi's on the line. What's up, man? Pagosi.
Yo, what's up, y'all? How you doing?
What's up?
Do you hear me on the
mic?
mic?
Yep.
Yo, you pick me on the mic or nah?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
I do, but you hear me?
Yes. We
okay. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Yeah. I agree with that, you know, with the law of attraction and all that, you know. Like, I used to wake up and read stuff, like, on the news and get in a negative mood. I'd stay in it all day and everything went wrong. But now I just concentrate on the positive and, like, the blessings and stuff. And, like, my energy, my mood, everything just stays on a positive level and everything goes way better. So, I mean, yeah, that's a good point you're making. Like, and like you said, be an introvert and, like, block out the negative stuff and the negative energy in people, you know? Yeah.
Marjae, real quick. We have 10 minutes left, and I want your thoughts.
I found one thing that works for me, man, is just finding the inner peace, like doing meditation at night and stuff. 10 minutes.
Yeah. So, Marjae, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the media.
Oh.
Or
you gonna let me talk? Oh, okay. I thought you.
No. No, I heard what he was saying.
It's the delay. It's the delay.
Yeah. No, you were saying to meditate at night. Hello?
He has a delay.
Okay, I can.
Yeah, I think.
Oh yeah. I was doing meditation, at night and in the mornings, and finding like inner peace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do I got a delay on this mic? I guess that's what's going on.
But I can hear you though. I heard everything you said.
But yeah, I find that, and then if your energy and your thoughts and okay, cool. Yeah, so I think find one like my energy, my thoughts, and my physicality. If I get enough sleep, I eat good. Everything's all together. Then I feel great. And then I'm not affected by the negative stuff as much at all. But when I concentrate on negative stuff and eat bad, don't sleep good, don't meditate, then it's like chaos in my life, like everything. Yeah. So. That's true. The law of attraction, all the secret. I think that's real.
Especially with that eating, people don't take that seriously, but I've heard that's pretty intense. And I was doing green, like a green source where it has hey, that stuff changes your life. It does. That green stuff, those enzymes, that live food is something else. It does.
Yes, Marjae,
yes,
real quick.
Kale is awesome.
Yo, it's 11:11, and I have a question for you.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, make your wishes, 11:11. But I don't know if you've been paying attention to the media, but the Vatican were over here a few months ago, and they held a conference, and they pulled all of the religions from all over into one building to push that Sunday worship. Now, yes, that's what it was about, to declare from all the Sabbath day worshipers to not only, recognize the Sabbath as being Sunday, which we all know that that's not true, but they are pushing for all religions to worship on Sunday. Jobs supposed to be closed down. Nobody's working on Sunday. So do you think there's like a hidden undertone message about, Sunday being associated with the sun god and not giving reverence to the actual Sabbath?
Yes. Yeah, it's so weird to me because these people that have this secret hidden knowledge, it's like they're illuminated, but what do they do? Okay, if Sunday is supposed to be, or if Saturday is supposed to be the Sabbath and the day of rest, and you want to worship on Sunday because the sun is the true God, because you're illuminated and you know the truth, well, then there's really nothing wrong with worshiping on Sunday. I don't understand what the manipulation is, what the secrecy is all about. Why don't you just let these people know that you're worshiping the sun, and they can still take Saturday as Sabbath? So that's where I'm confused. I'm like, if you guys are so illuminated, what's with all the secrecy? What's with all the hidden? I just want to know the truth. I want to know who I'm supposed to be worshiping on what day. If it doesn't matter, if it does matter, if I am supposed to worship the sun, let me know. So I really don't know what to say about all that. It's very confusing.
Yeah, and that even goes back to the pyramids of Egypt. They're all sundials. And the obelisks are, sundials to, tell time. They're all. Yep. I'm thinking there's supposed to be some. I don't want to say collision course, but they're all supposed to align at some point in time with the sun.
But see, this is what I was saying earlier about the different degrees of information. That's what you call the novice. All that information, that's what they told the people. But the high priest and all these guys, that's in the royal quarters and stuff like that, back in I'm talking I'm not talking a near distant past. I'm talking about prehistoric, ancient times, the stuff we really not gonna know the truth about. These people understood that Sirius was the actual star that we were keeping up with, the Sirius star system, because it's a binary system. It's a binary star system, but the sun was just a mere reflection of Sirius. And the ancients understood this. That's why we were talking about how did they have such extensive knowledge of constellations and things. The Dogon knew about Sirius centuries before modern science knew anything about it, and NASA and whatnot. But like I was saying earlier, as long as we looking outside of ourselves for this true power, then they know they have us. That's the real secret. The secret is you are the power that you're looking for.
I do believe that. I do.
I agree with that shit.
We don't got our true power, so in our mind, we can't be capable of the things that we think in our mind. But in actuality, if your mind can project this image as a thought, then it's very much so possible.
Yes, yes, it is.
Of course.
That's a good point. How much time do we have, Demetrius? Because I wanted to say something really quick about what he just said.
4 minutes.
Okay, 4 minutes. Okay, we have the chakras. We have the crown chakra, the third eye chakra, throat chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, and then the base chakra, and then the sacral chakra, I believe that's what it is. Now, this higher chakra, the crown chakra, that is the connection to the Christ consciousness, or the Krishna. I do believe that the God is within ourselves, and even in the Bible it says the kingdom is within us. So when Jesus was in the desert for 40 days and 40 nights, they don't talk about what he was doing. He was meditating. Of course he was, and we can attain the things even greater than he's attained, and he's trying to tell us it's within you. So I do believe that the God is within us, but I believe that there is a higher source that we can take our energy from, because sometimes I need God.
Connect with.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's crazy. Here, I may take it off a bit, but like what you were saying, you don't understand what the manipulation is behind it by getting all the religions to worship on one day. And I think it's just preparation for
New World Order.
One organized religion. Because if they prep, because it's like, I don't know, man. It's obviously easy to see that on a massive level, people are easily manipulated by social media.
Yes.
Right? And I was talking about this to someone else earlier. It might have been, I think it was you, Houdini, when I was doing this course, and it was talking about content marketing. And one point that it made is all the media that you put out on a daily basis, you want to keep pumping it out continuously for the life cycle of the consumer. Keyword life cycle. Word life cycle for basically their entire life. So it doesn't matter what you put out, but the whole entire point is to put it out for their entire life. So you see what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe that's what it's for. Because if they can get everyone on a worldwide level to worship on one day, eventually they're going to see how. I mean, they've already taken everything far. They lie blatantly to our face every single day. Yeah. So I mean,
I wonder if they're so illuminated.
The Bible speaks about this too, man. I'm not really, one for the religious thing either. But like she said, all of these ancient texts are, they have a hint of reality in it that people just don't really understand. But the Bible speaks about in the end days or whatnot, the devil actually revealing himself for who he is and all of these things. So I really think it's like you said, it's basically them getting ready to soften us up so they can,
desensitize us.
Yeah, for everything they're going to get ready to do. Are they been planning for history?
Yeah, because, dude, think about it. The Earth has always had a major crisis where a lot of people have been killed.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Like at Atlantis, for example, that would be Atlantis was supposedly went under after some sort of a crisis. Yeah.
Yeah, Atlantis is one example. Look at Hitler and him killing all the people that he did. I mean, there's major catastrophes where the population is brought down to a certain manageable size, So, and there's like over 7 billion people on the planet or some shit like that.
Worse. Freeways are just...
Oh,
yeah. Come on, dude.
But you know what's crazy? There is so much more space for everybody. We're trying to fit 7 billion people into the cities. But if you, I mean, my guy, he drives trucks. We drive for miles. I'm like, look at all this land. Like, this is, we're not
the rural areas. Yeah, that's true. But, dude, even the rural areas are starting to become popular. Like, I live in a rural area. And within a year, it seems like it's doubled. You know, the traffic has gotten worse. There's more fatalities on the road, you know, and then the area didn't have any homeless people. And right down the street, there's homeless people. And I'm like, whoa, like, that's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Within a year time frame. So, and, you know, we expand on a daily. Everybody's having kids. You know,
people are dying.
So it's like you got.
People are having kids, too.
No. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I said people are also dying. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I didn't hear him.
No, I'm just trying to reiterate what he said. So basically, you feel like humanity has become like a cancerous cell, basically? Like
No. Humanity has not become a cancerous cell, no. It's like, look, man, the Earth, we always talk about global warming and so on and so forth. Okay, the Earth itself is a living organism. All right, if we destroy the place that we live, it's not going to matter. And the Earth has been around here for millions, if not billions of years. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think we have the power to destroy something older than us
get rid
like
of us
that.
first, though, I think.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like a Earth humanitarian type person or anything like that, but there's always been something in our history where there's been a major catastrophe and a shit ton of people have been wiped out, and only a few remain. Underground civilizations. I mean, Antarctica. It used to not be frozen. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So it's like there's all these things that we still don't know. So I don't know.
Those cycles we were talking about earlier, I think that's what that is, because like we were saying, the ancients looked at the global, the global phenomenon. They looked at, the whole of the big picture. They didn't just view themselves as, okay, this is the such and such tribe over here in this neck of the woods. This is who we are, nobody else. They looked at everybody and how each decision they made would, affect the next person. That's how they viewed everything in order to sustain, a well-balanced and functioning ecosystem. But once you get that, that feeling and manipulation, like y'all were saying earlier, with the ego wanting to compete, competition is going to start to breed. It's going to start to breed fear. So now you have a whole society of people that bases their whole reality on, it's based off fear, because that's what we are driven to, operate in the realm of an aura of nothing but fear.
Amen to that.
So we make a lot of decisions we might not even understand we making out of fear.
Yes, I believe so too. We conform out of fear. Yes.
And the media is one of the biggest contributors to this fear.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
You could be watching a movie and all of a sudden they play the music and you start feeling a certain way. That music then just influenced you to make your blood boil a certain way for you to have a emotional reaction to it.
Look how
the
black men, the black women. Look how media's done that. I mean, black women are objects. We are objects, and I guess all women are in every race. But
yes, I was gonna say all women are.
Black women do. It's awful.
It's terrible.
Man,
it's terrible.
It's disgusting. I hate it. Ugh. But
okay, guys, we're out of time. We are going to have to do a part 2, definitely.
Part 2? I was thinking
with you, Marjae.
Yay! See, there it goes again. Yes.
Because we can dive so deep in so many different ways and so many different pools.
Oh my gosh.
Super phenomenal.
Let's do this. It was fun.
Yes. So let's set up another date, Marjae, and do another segment.
Thank you so much, Demetrius.
All right.
It was so nice talking to you, Half Deezy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Same to you and everyone else, too, man. Definitely.
Yes, and I didn't get your partner's
All
name,
right.
Demetrius. What's his name?
Is she talking about me, D?
Yeah.
Yes.
Johannes?
Okay, nice
Johannes?
to talk to you, too. Nice to talk to you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's a pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, hell yeah. Definitely good to talk to you, brother.
Cool.
Okay, man. We're going to have to definitely do it again, you guys, because there's not enough time in the world to discuss things like this.
Yes.
For sure.
All right, you guys. Well, have a great night. And if I don't talk to you guys before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas.
Same to
All
you.
right. Everybody do the same.
If you believe in Christmas.
Well, it's all based on some truth.
All righty, guys. I'm going to go make
All right,
dinner
see you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye. Bye.
All right, thank you as always for checking out my podcast over here at Vigilantes Radio. All episodes are available for free download after at least 1 hour as the show ends. You can grab it over from our servers over at Spreaker.com/only1media group or over at iTunes. It may be a day or two because they're super slow, but it's okay. It's cool. Or over at my website, which again is only1mediagroup.com, and that goes for every single show that I ever aired. This was a brand new segment that we tried out tonight, and it worked. Not only did we dive deep, but we got some wisdom and some knowledge from some really cool people like Johannan, my co-host, Half Deezy, and thanks to Pagosi for chiming in as well. Folks, we are up to 17,000 listens per episode. So if you like to request music or request a certain person to come on the show or send something for me to play, make sure you email it to vradio@only1mediagroup.com. Here's my disclaimer. I'm genre-free. I do not judge, and I absolutely do not base my opinion on hearsay but facts. And actually, you can scratch that disclaimer because all of my opinions are always right, and that's just the bottom line. Hence my name, Deanie Mussolini. I'm just kidding. Anyway, on behalf of myself and Johannan, I appreciate you guys for tuning in either afterwards or live with us. Do this, spread the word. Special thanks to my guest, Marjae Angel, for joining us tonight. We stuffed up our games just for you guys and just to make sure that our guests have the best experience here on our show. You know, I do it all. Okay, with that, just remember to be yourself and be absolutely freaking great at it. Peace and good night.
I'm back on that road, back in that mode where they can't crack my code, but their lives are getting old. They tryna build a home, but their house is full of mold. Fountain of the youth, but their souls are looking old. Foundation built on truth, man, I'm searching for their gold. What demons you attracted by the stories you were told. Laws of attention, baby girl, you will grow. It's God's will that you grow, seeds that you sow. Inside your heart, you already know that key, that secret, that door. Money, respect, wisdom, the world could be yours. That business that you own, king, employ your boys. A gift from Otis. Many men sit behind podiums. Go ahead, ask a man what really is your motive. Fortune 500, illusion of associate. You can sell a dream, but the secret's in the ocean. All of my suffering. And never quiet. The people are so deep in the hole, and the secret is so deep in your soul. You gotta find it. Meditation be my medication. No hesitation, preparation for this destination. I'm patient, waiting, demons saying I'm busy, but I'm still breathing. Barely made it through this life fulfilling. I ain't Jesus, but I'll be a savior. Come on, people, we can make it. Ain't the end of the world. We won't die. Girls believe in these lies and still cry. 'Cause drugs kill, but drugs take it. Who got the keys to get it in? Who brought the keys overseas? We ain't free, so set sail to the wind. Believe in yourself, we gon' win. I'ma tell you a secret, just take it in.
Take our keys to unlock the door and leave all of my sufferings behind. And the light creeps in and the story begins. Lost in the whirlwind of iniquity. Oh, it's so confusing. And now I'm seeing the light of the secrets that's buried inside. I know the power deep inside. And I tell myself that every time I wanna I can take it no longer. These films are coming on stronger and stronger than ever before. What am I to do? Inside the time, I'm so confused. The only thing I feel that's left to do is pray for me and you. I pray for me and you, yeah. Everywhere I go, I'm hearing different stories being told. And there is only one thing that I know. It ain't on me. It ain't on me. I know it ain't on me. It ain't on me. Take out the keys to unlock the door and leave all of my suffering behind. And the light creeps in and the story begins. Lost in the whirlwind of iniquity. Oh, it's so confusing, but now I'm seeing the light full of secrets that's buried inside. Take out the keys to unlock the door and leave all of my suffering behind. And the light creeps in and the story begins. Lost in the whirlwind of iniquity. Oh, it's so confusing, but now I'm seeing the light full of secrets that's buried inside.
If you enjoyed that record, that was The Secret by Houdini Black featuring Marjae. Check it out on Spotify and iTunes. Grab you a copy. Peace.